Here we go. Apparently, it's already the start of new F1 game build-up for the year, because yesterday, EA Sports F1 social accounts all updated their profile pictures, their banners, to this brand new F1 23 teaser, the very first official teaser from EA and Codemasters for this year's Formula 1 game. And there are a few little details about this teaser that we're going to delve into and just discuss for a moment. But first of all, let's talk about the timing of this very first teaser, because it's early. It's really early. March 1st, that's the earliest we've ever heard about an upcoming brand new F1 game. Usually, the last couple of years, the pattern has been around mid to 3/4 of the way through April. That's when we get our very first announcement video where they, announce the game's coming. They announce the release date generally and maybe some headlines, and there's a little flashy teaser video. Doesn't show you too much. I mean, last year we hardly got anything really. In 2021, it was the kind of, first inkling of Breaking Point as a story mode, and I wouldn't be surprised if, the next big thing they show us is a teaser video of whatever the sequel to Breaking Point is going to be. But that's all in April, and before April, that midway point, they never do this. They haven't done a teaser like this where they change their profile picture early to the next game. They usually do that when that video comes out. So last year, in mid-April, that's when all their profile pictures changed over to F1 22, the banners as well. Whereas now, March 1st, and already all the social accounts for the F1 game have swapped over their profile pictures to F1 23 and the cover photos, etc. So they want us to start thinking about this game a lot earlier than they did last year or the years before. So why is that? Could that possibly mean a slightly earlier release date? Not a massive amount, because, it's only a month ahead of when they usually start announcing things, but could that mean the release date's being pushed forwards into June? Possibly. It's just speculation, or they're just wanting to get ahead of the real season and kind of build on the season beginning in real life this weekend and try and build on that and piggyback off that with announcing, the first teaser ever for the F1 23 game. Because let's be real, the hype for F1 22 is in a grave. It is not good right now. As F1 games go, this might be one of the most deadest games ever since like F1 2015, 2014. At this point in the game cycle, like F1 2019 was still more hyped and held people's attention more than F1 22. And that was pre-My Team, pre all these things they brought into the game over the years. So maybe they just want to get ahead of the curve and get people's minds ticking onto the next game and make us forget about what a poor state F1 22 is in terms of the interest levels. It wasn't just the teaser photo though that they posted on socials. If you went to the Xbox store, F1 23 was already on the store page, and along with it accompanied some extra photos of this generic F1 car. Now, I'm focusing on that because it's not the same generic FOM My Team chassis car from last year's game. F1 22's FOM car that you have to use in My Team career mode looks very different. The nose, it appears now in these models to be a lot thinner. The side pods now have that Red Bull Alpine style undercut at the inlet, and then very much the Red Bull Alpine configuration, the downwash side pod where it scoops the air downward towards that kind of squirt gap where the diffuser is and around the rear tire, and obviously then the kind of, bigger tunnels on the engine cover coming back towards the rear wing. So they have possibly changed that model, which is already a welcome addition. Before we find anything else out about My Team career mode, that's a welcome addition, because last year's My Team car, that chassis was so gawpingly ugly compared to the actual 22 cars and now the 2023 cars. The actual cars the teams have produced are so much better looking than the generic one that the F1 engineers came up with their vision of 2022 and beyond. And so I'm so glad they've taken inspiration from the real teams with the smaller nose, mounting on the front wing, and then also the side pod configuration not being that wide, kind of just big eyesore on the side of the car. So, because I feel like it's not a red herring. I don't know why they would bother using a different model like this if they weren't going to use it in the game. Because last year, when we got that first announcement video, they used that 22 show car, the generic car, in the video with all the kind of lights and everything like that. And this year, they're using this different generic car to kick us off with a teaser. So that's surely going to mean this is the new FOM car that we'll be getting in the game for My Team Career Mode, which is great. Great stuff, because it looks so much better. Another thing that people have been speculating over, either on news articles or actually just on socials, is also the caption that they posted this teaser with. New season, fresh start. And journalists alike and fans focusing on that word fresh start. Now, you know, people have read into that. They're wishfully thinking that it's going to be a complete overhaul of the new game, you know, new engine. I, for one, am skeptical. I don't think that's what that's indicating. I, for one, think it's just, you know, a fancy buzzword for new season, fresh start. You know, maybe the freshness is going to relate to, you know, certain aspects of the game. Obviously, we have a new sequel to Breaking Point, so it's a fresh start, a fresh story that we're going to experience. I hope, for one, there's actually going to be proper improvement and changes to My Team Career Mode with how it works and, you know, even the car itself, etc., and the systems and the gameplay. So that will be a fresh start. But in terms of groundbreaking, from the ground up, foundational fresh, in terms of a new physics engine, for example, or, you know, switching over from the Ego engine that Codemasters themselves develop in-house to something with EA, for example, or Unreal, I don't know, I'm skeptical. I don't reckon this is a year they're going to do that, because in the past, Lee Mather has stated, the game director, that if there's no massive benefit to moving to a new engine versus what they can still do on the current one, they won't move over, because he doesn't want another situation like when they did move engine from F1 2014 to 15, and it became a very bare bones game because it was a new engine. So I reckon we're still a year or two or something like that away from some sort of new engine, but I could be wrong. But, you know, because journalists have even, you know, speculated at that when reporting about this teaser dropping. So maybe that's just my pessimistic side coming in now, because I've been hurt from what happened in F1 22, basically. But I'm a little bit, take it with a pinch of salt. But there are some other details that you may have missed from this teaser. On the actual teaser photo itself, on the top left, you'll see the coordinates for Las Vegas and also the Qatar GP. So obviously it was always going to happen anyway. It's the new F1 game. It's going to have all the new official circuits. But yeah, Las Vegas and Qatar coming to the game. 2 new tracks for us to play with, which is quite exciting, actually. I know it's just a case of they're always going to come in because they're part of the official calendar, but it's still 2 new tracks that are coming to an F1 game that we all play. Obviously, I'm hoping from F1 22, the DLC we got of Portimao and Shanghai coming back into the game, being added back in. I hope those are still there at launch on F1 23, so we effectively have 2 new circuits that are officially on the calendar, and then those extra 2 circuits that are still hovering about. And then I would love for them to be doing other circuits, you know, the kind of crowd favourites. Hockenheim, Malaysia's been battered around, obviously other circuits that F1 used to come to in the last 10 years or so, but it's just wishful thinking. But that's confirmation of Las Vegas and Qatar, and probably will feature, I would probably guess, it's going to feature quite heavily in the marketing, maybe, because they're already sprinkling a teaser of it into the top left of the photo. So I reckon on the build-up, you're definitely going to be seeing some, you know, probably even gameplay around Las Vegas and Qatar, especially because F1 are in charge of the Las Vegas GP promotion. Usually, it's the organizers that do it themselves, but F1 as a company is in charge of promoting Las Vegas. So you can bet they're going to use the F1 game, the fact that you can virtually drive around it earlier than real life. They're going to use that to market the Grand Prix. So it's probably going to feature quite heavily, just like Miami did last year. So for now, that's going to be it for F1 23 Game Talk. Those are all the little details or photos you may have missed if you were just paying attention to the normal social feed and didn't check things like the Xbox store, etc., and kind of zoom into these other shots. So if you have enjoyed the video and found it informative, then be sure to hit that like button, and of course get subscribed here for all the latest F1 game news. As soon as there's any bit of info, I can bring to you next next on the F123 game, I'll be here and I'll be making a video for you guys as soon as I can. So get subscribed for that. Let me know what you make of the teaser yourself. Do you buy into maybe the notion of fresh start and the caption means something? Are you, happy about potentially a change of the generic FOM My Team car, as I think it will be? And you're looking forward to the new circuits, and what do you reckon we have in store for this new game? March 1st, the announcement. Do you think maybe my theory of them moving the release date potentially is a viable option? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, again, if you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, guys. I'll catch you guys around. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.